Yo, what is up, boys and girls, it's Wodzu here. As the title says, today we're going to mix some screamo trap vocals. If you watched my previous video about how to make a Scarlett type beat with guitars, today I'm going to mix some screamo vocals to this exact beat. This is a collaboration with an upcoming trap metal artist from UK, Damage. If you'd like to hear the finished song, you can follow him. It will be published on his Instagram, Spotify, and all these streaming platforms. So, here is the session. As you can see, it's pretty big. That's the instrumental only. Here I have some vocals sent by Damage to me, but this is the instrumental. It's pretty big, but I've seen bigger instrumentals. Doesn't really matter. It sounds killer. The instrumental is already mixed, so we won't be mixing any instrumentals today. Let's move to the vocal layer and let's have a listen of the vocals.
Yeah! Step back, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
Okay, so basically the main vocal here is just this traditional screamo vocal. And next we have a rapped part.
Never gotta hide behind the disguise. Everybody can feel the fire behind your eyes.
And then it goes back to the screamo vocal. Here are some ad-libs, so we can just boost some things up. But let's focus on the main vocal first. My main go-to plugin for mixing vocals is Nectar Free by iZotope. Here's how it looks like. For those of you who don't know what Nectar Free is, let me explain real quick. This is a plugin that has a few different modules. So basically it has a compressor, de-esser, delay, dimension, which is chorus, flanger, phaser, EQ, gate, harmony, which is just a harmonizer, which lets you add some artificial harmonies to your vocal, reverb and saturation, including tube and tape saturation and that kinds of stuff. Most likely you have most of these tools already built into your DAW. I just like this plugin. It has everything in one place, in one layout, and it's really simple to use. For the basic starting point for this vocal right here, I'm going to use the vocal assistant right here. It will just prepare a really simple, basic compression and EQing as a starting point to make the further mix. So I'm just clicking assist, next, I'm not changing anything, moderate with modern vibes, and here I just play the vocal and we'll get the signal chain. Okay, the assistant finished his work, and as you can see, it's a suggestion to help you get started. Nectar Free is not a plugin that will mix everything for you, and don't treat Nectar Free like it is a plugin that is mixing for you with artificial intelligence, because it's not. It's just helping you to start and, you know, save this like 15-20 minutes setting up all the EQs, compressors and stuff. So what we have here, we don't care about the pitch module, it's just auto-tune basically. We start from the EQ1 module with just taking out some of the frequencies before the vocal gets compressed. So those were just some frequencies that were just too loud. And to see what it did, I will just turn off all these different modules. And I will tell you this right now, I'm getting rid of the included reverb because I'm going to use my own reverbs. Okay, let's play the vocal.
Step back, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I told motherfucker step back, cause I'm coming for your neck again.
As you could hear, the difference wasn't like really huge and impressive, but it made the vocal a little bit more flat across the spectrum, because those four filters are just controlling some frequencies that were too loud, that were just jumping, let's say. The next module here is the de-esser. If you aren't familiar with de-esser, de-esser takes off sibilants. So for example, in the word snake, the S is a sibilant because it makes this unpleasant S at the very beginning of the word. And de-esser is a tool, is a plugin that will take out those S's when they happen, when they appear. We could take those frequencies out with just an EQ, but this would take out those frequencies like for the whole time, and we want to take out those S's only when they appear. So let's have a listen.
Step back, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
As you can see, it's not reducing really much because this vocal initially didn't really had any serious sibilants, because without the de-esser it sounds pretty good.
Step back, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
It has some sibilants, so it's reducing like 1.5 dB, 2 dB.
Step back, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
As you could see, around 1 dB, and that's enough. Because if you lower the threshold like a lot, those S's will be taken out too seriously. You will hear that the S's are just too quiet.
Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
So that was an example of really hard de-essing, which is not good in this example. The next plugin right here is the EQ, and in this case it's an additive EQ. The role of the additive EQ is to color up your sound. In this EQ right here, the EQ number 1, we were taking out certain frequencies. So it's an subtractive EQ. It subtracts certain frequencies. It's taking them out of the spectrum. So the role of this particular EQ is to reduce the frequency. The role of this EQ is mainly to bring up some of the top-end frequencies, as you can see here, so it colors up your sound. Let's have a listen.
Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I saw a motherfucker step back, cause I'm coming for your neck again.
The vocal gets more tight, it gets brighter, it gets just a little bit lighter. It has this air to it. And as you could see, there is this filter moving right here. I don't really like this feature because sometimes it just messes things up, so I'm going to turn this off and make this filter stable. I'm also going to lower this super top end, this super high end a little because it's a little too bright.
Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
And the last thing in this chain prepared by the vocal assistant is the compressor. By default, this compression is really hard because the ratio here is 10:1. I won't be explaining how the compressor works like in detail in this video. That is a topic for another video. But let's have a listen with and without the compressor.
Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
Those of you who aren't experienced with compression may have not hear anything particular here, but the compressor reduced the dynamic range of our vocals. So all those peaks happening right here are same as loud now. So there is no huge difference between the loudness on this word and this word, for example, which is like 2 times quieter just looking at it. This compression is way too hard for me, so I'm going to lower the ratio to around 4:1, something like 420, 430, I don't really know, somewhere around 4:1, 5:1, something like that. The attack is really fast, so the compressor starts working like immediately. That's okay because this vocal is really aggressive and it's rapped, it's screamed, so it has a really fast attack. The release is 300 milliseconds, so it's pretty long. The release tells us how much time does it take to compressor to stop working after it finished compressing. And in this case, we have automatic gain compensation, so everything we compress is getting louder. Because normally the compressor, and that is the funny thing, the compressor makes your things quieter because it's compressing. It's making things same as loud, more compressed, but quieter at the same time. So you need to compensate the volume with the makeup after you compress something most of the times. But here we have automatic gain compensation, which makes this for us, and the vocal is instantly louder after compressing. Let's have a listen.
Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
That's okay, it's still a lot of compression, so I'm going to use the mix knob right here, and I'm just mixing it with the raw signal. So 20% of the raw signal, 80% of the compressed signal. It's called parallel compression or New Year compression, where we have a compressed signal, mostly strongly compressed signal, and we are just adding some uncompressed signal to the compressed signal, and we have a blend between those two.
Step by, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
It just added a little bit life to it, but just a little, so it's not as dense and as like squeezed by the compressor. Okay, here we are adding the next module, which will be the saturation module. It's really important in case of screamo vocals because it can bring up to life some harmonics, some frequencies that are just hidden in the spectrum in this vocal. The role of the saturation is basically to color up your sound, like with the EQ, but EQ doesn't add you any new harmonics. It can just boost something. By saturating, you are adding some new things to the spectrum, thanks to the modules that are responsible for saturation in this case. Let's try the tape one, which is really basic here.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I told motherfucker step back, cause I...
Let's try a different one, let's try tube.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
It's really hard. Let's try warm.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on...
Let's try distort.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna...
Analog.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and...
Retro.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
I think I will stay with the tube one. It's really aggressive, but it doesn't distort the sound too much. It has this like claw, it has the razor, but it's not damaging the vocal, even though it's damaged who I'm mixing right now. So let's have a listen to the vocal with and without the saturation.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
So as you could hear, it definitely adds some color and life to this vocal. Okay, that are all the basic things we had to do with this vocal to make it sound better, to make it sound more cohesive. Now I'm going to copy and paste the plugin we've just prepared to other vocal tracks. So I'm just drag and dropping this to all the other tracks. I'm also going to normalize all those ad-libs and make them same as loud as all the vocals in this project, so the compressor works properly. I'm going to turn off the ad-libs for now, and let's mix the main vocal with the beat. First of all, I'm going to set the level of the vocal to the level of the beat.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I told motherfucker step back, cause I'm coming for your neck again.
Okay, the volume of the vocal is okay now. I suggest starting from a lower point, so make your vocal quieter, much quieter than your beat, and start applying the changes gently until you hear the vocal properly and it's not overwhelming the beat, because we need to find a balance. So the vocal doesn't eat the beat and the beat is not covering the vocal, because we want to, you know, have a compromise between those two. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some reverb to the vocal so it fits the beat a little better. So I'm taking the routing right here and I'm drag and dropping it to one of my reverb sends. This is my basic vocal reverb right here. So let's have a listen.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I told motherfucker step back, cause I'm coming for your neck again. Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I told motherfucker step back, yeah, you better step back again.
As you could see, as the vocal was playing, I was lowering the amount of reverb with this fader right here until I stopped hearing it. It's here, trust me, if I soloed the vocal right now, you would hear the reverb, but in the balance between the vocal and the beat, this amount of reverb will be, let's say, correct.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test them.
So as you could hear, the vocal has reverb, but as we play it with the beat, we don't really hear this reverb. And it's quite a lot of reverb.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
I'm not going to use any huge reverbs on the main vocal right here, because I want to use them on the ad-libs, on the other smaller vocals, let's say, and this main vocal has to be right in your face, right in the front. Now, to spread those main vocals a little bit more, I'm going to use the harmony module right here in Nektar, and this will just make the vocal wider.
Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest. Cause I told motherfucker step back, cause I'm coming for your neck again.
As you could see, I also lowered the amount of this harmony module with the mix fader right here. Now I'm going to use some delay sends, so we have those repetitions bouncing in the background. I'm going to send the main vocal to delay quarter notes.
Cause I told motherfucker step back, cause I'm coming for your neck again. Step back, cause you fucking wear the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
So we have those nice bouncy repetitions, and I'm going to send the whole delay bus to the really long tail reverb right here.
Step back, cause you fucking were the best and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest.
Now I'm going to take care of those backing vocals. Here I have some screams and stuff, so let's just take care of it. The thing I like to do with backing vocals is just adding harmony modules and set them to really wide so the vocal can be heard from the background. So now I'm going to make a group for those ad-libs and call this ad-libs and send it to a bigger reverb, let's say TC tail once more here. And what I also like to do with the ad-libs, I'm just loading re-EQ on the whole ad-libs group and I'm just cutting out the low end and a little bit of the high end, like just like 15K. We can also try sending the ad-libs to the delay, the same delay as we used in the main vocal. Let's have a listen. I will just play with those ad-libs a little more after the video because I don't want to bore you here. Now it's time for the vocal bass processing. For the vocal bass processing, I'm going to use iZotope Neutron. It's another plugin from iZotope. In this case, it has equalizers, compressors, exciter, gate sculpture, which is their their own module, and transient shaper. First of all, I'm going to cut out all the low ends. So this is like our, you know, super ultra final control of the low end. I don't want to see anything below like 60 Hertz. Now I'm going to add the compressor. So that will be just a little bit of compression. We've compressed the vocal, it's already pretty much compressed, but this will just take the control of the final compression on the whole vocal bass, including ad-libs. I will make it a little faster, so around 10 milliseconds with a little faster release, like 50, 60 milliseconds. The ratio will be 3:1, something like that. The knee will be a little softer, let's say 5. This vocal is pretty harsh and pretty hard, so I don't want this to be like too soft. I want this compression to be like super hard, but not like too hard. I like to balance things out. So now I'll be lowering the threshold and the compressor will start to work. And those compressors in Neutron are super cool because they are actually multi-band compressors, which means I can make another compressor inside a compressor and I can compress the top end, for example, in a different way. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to set similar parameters right here, or even more aggressive ones, the same amount of compression, and I can compress it harder or a little softer. Let's see. In most of the cases, this part of the spectrum, low end and the middle, needs more control with compressor than the high end. So I don't like to keep those higher frequencies under that much of control. And in this case, when the compressor starts to work because of a frequency in the middle, it starts compressing the whole thing, the whole spectrum. So I just got rid of it, and the high end has its own compressor right here. And I may also use the exciter, which is basically a saturation module here in Neutron. I'm going to create 3 different parts of the spectrum. I'm hitting learn, which will set the spectrums for me. And now I will be saturating the vocal in different spectrums with different saturators. I'm going to saturate this part of the spectrum, the biggest one, and the top end. I'm not going to do anything with this super low end. For the high end, I like to use the tube saturation. It's really hard, really harsh, and it brings out all the harshness from the vocal. It's super harsh right now, so I like this harshness, but it's too much harsh. So I'm going to use the mix fader right here and just lower the amount of this particular saturator. And here I'm going to use the retro module, which will sound more like a distortion than tube saturation. Now the vocal sounds much aggressive and is much warmer in the middle than it was before. Now let's see what we've done. I will turn off everything in Neutron, the whole thing, so equalizer, compressor and exciter, by clicking this button right here, and let's hear the difference. Never gonna test on my bulletproof vest, 'cause I don't motherfucker step back, 'cause I'm coming for your neck again. Step back, 'cause you fucking were the best, and you're never gonna test on my bulletproof vest, 'cause I don't motherfucker step back, yeah, you better step back again. So the vocal is much more in control than it was before the Neutron. The compressor is the main thing responsible for this, and it's just good. So that's basically how you mix screamo trap vocals with a trap metal beat. I hope you found this video useful. If you want to see other videos from the How to Trap Metal series, they are all on this playlist right here. If you need your stuff mixed, just hit me up, check the offer on my website. And yeah, if you want to be up to date with all those videos I'm making right here, hit the subscribe button. That's pretty much it. My name is Dominik, you've been watching Wodzu Beats, and keep the good vibes alive.